And welcome back. It's now time to catch up on the latest from the world of Survivor.
Yes,
All right, this episode, first of all, let me just say, I said this about Amazing Race yesterday. This episode was really good. So I don't know if it was just like...
It's just your mood.
I know.
Or if it was the
I don't
week.
know if it was just because like I watched it on the holidays and really enjoyed it or what. But I really liked both episodes this week. Okay, so first up was the reward challenge. And this was a pretty like significant reward challenge for a couple reasons. So first of all, the challenge was they had to spin around in this little contraption. And then obviously you're dizzy. Also you like haven't eaten. Also you've lost a bunch of weight. So then you have to like find your balance. You had to run across this netting of sorts. And then there was like this, I guess like a balance beam maybe.
Yeah.
And you had to work your way across that as you see Cody's trying to do and then pick up these bags. Once you got to the other side, then you'd take the bags and throw it up and land it on like a high tier type thing. Now here's what's crazy. So this shot is after Noel wins the reward challenge. But here's what's so significant about it.
But she shouldn't have won. I mean, it didn't look like she was going to at all.
Right, so she really struggled with this challenge because with her legs, she was struggling to find the balance on the beam.
Yeah, it was just a mechanic issue, right?
So she was the last one over there, and then her second shot, she got it up, which was so cool. So she won, and the reward challenge on this was huge because they won an overnight stay in the sanctuary. It was her, and she got to pick
Pizza,
3 people,
beer,
and letters from home.
Letters, yeah.
And like, I just can't imagine. You're out there 20 days, you're starving yourself, you're trying to win this big money, and then you get letters from home.
Everybody.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Now, we get to the immunity challenge. Also really enjoyed this immunity challenge. So basically, it was kind of like a balancing game, more or less. So there was 2 different boards, and you had to transfer all these little mini cards from one board to the other, right? And then it had to reach like a certain marker by stacking the cards or whatever.
Yeah.
But as you see, so you had to keep it balanced, and if you lost the balance, then all your cards fell.
Yeah.
So it's
the
very
whole
tricky.
balance thing is always so tricky for them on these challenges.
Yeah, and it's I love like watching these because you're like, ooh, who's gonna win? Because you're like, oh, they're gonna win.
You might think someone is, and then the whole thing falls.
And then all their cards fall. So you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
But to, I don't know if I would say my surprise, but I think more just like intrigue. Cassidy won this challenge, and she has not won individual yet this season.
No,
so that
but I
pretty
was
cool to
reading
see.
too that like she said she was just going to play it real easy and soft until it was time to go full force, and now it looks like she's going full force. So it's like, okay, what's going to happen in future weeks?
Right. Well, and I mean, we're kind of in that nitty gritty. You know, we're just a few weeks away from the finale episode, and so we're really getting down to the wire where people have to make best choices for themselves, save themselves when they can,
and be strategic about who they kick out and who they put on the jury and who comes to be one of those final people with them.
For sure. So then after we get back to camp, and obviously there's all kinds of conversation and chaos on who they're going to send home. They really have no idea. It kind of sounds like one half of the group wants to maybe take out Carla, while the other half of the group is planning to potentially blindside Noel, who just won the reward challenge. There's like a lot going on here.
And the interesting thing is that historically, the person that wins that reward challenge and gets the pizza, beer, letters from home, more often than not, they are the ones that get home, sit home.
So we go to Tribal. And first of all, I just love all the conversations that are happening at this point in the game because Jeff's like really poking at them, you can tell. But some people are like very vocal and some stay very silent, like they're like very like close to the vest.
If he wants a fight to break out, or
I know.
What's your problem?
I know. So I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But ultimately, and I believe a mostly majority vote, Noel gets sent home, which was really sad to see because she honestly played a really good game. And I think that's why she
didn't like her early on, but especially in this reward challenge, just see her overcome those disabilities. And that is, I mean, you can't not love that.
For sure. And with her, you know, being a above the knee amputee, the first one ever in Survivor history to be a contestant like that. She stands for so much. And she was so good, you know, and she was so strong. And that's why they took her out, because she was a huge threat. And I read an article this morning that said a lot of people did feel like if they made it to the end with her, that she probably would have won because she had such a good case against a lot of them.
I think so. And I think that happens if you have any kind of thing, any kind of story, backstory that is going to make things harder for you. Those are the people that they look out for, you know?
Well, and I mean, overcoming adversity speaks for itself, you know?
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Great season. It just keeps getting better and better. Tonight, there's another brand new episode of Survivor right here on CBS at 7 o'clock. And of course, it's available to stream on Paramount Plus. Really excited to see how the season ends.
I know, it's not much left. All right, up next, find out what's happening in Hollywood.